there are 100 trillion organisms, microorganisms, living in each of our GI tracts, comprising bacteria, viruses, as well as different kinds of fungi. And these organisms are not just parasites. They literally live hand in hand with us and help us to function normally on a day-to-day basis, help to prevent disease and maintain health.
Welcome back. You are watching the Dr. Nandi Show, and today I'm talking about gut health and your GI tract, because as my next guest said, it is, quote unquote, the center of the universe. So what exactly are these gut bugs? Well, joining me is another gastroenterologist who I know very well. He actually helped train me several years ago. Now, Dr. William Che is a world expert in his field, and I would say he is the preeminent world expert in this field. He helped create diagnostic criteria to diagnose GI conditions, and he's here to explain what exactly is the microbiome. So what exactly are gut bugs, Dr. Che? You know, you've talked about, we introduced it as a microbiome. So what the heck are they? People think like you're supposed to take antibiotics for these gut bugs, right? But it's a little different story, isn't it?
It really is. And we used to say that jokingly.
Yes.
That the GI tract was the center of the universe as a gastroenterologist.
Yes.
But increasingly, it turns out it's probably true.
Yes.
Realize that there are 100 trillion organisms, microorganisms, living in each of our GI tracts, comprising bacteria, viruses, as well as different kinds of fungi. And these organisms are not just parasites. They literally live hand in hand with us and help us to function normally on a day-to-day basis, help to prevent disease and maintain health.
Yeah, it's awesome. When you talk about 100 trillion, so you imagine how many cells, those you're watching, we have, and compare that with these bugs that are in there. You wonder really who's controlling your real health destiny. It's a lot to be learned from that. But why are these microbes, these 100 trillion bugs, Dr. Che, really so important in our health?
I think people don't realize how much of an influence these bugs exert on normal human development and function. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
There's great research that shows that if you take the microbiome, the bacteria from an obese rat and put it into a skinny rat, the skinny rat will become obese,
right,
and vice versa. There's also great research showing that you can take the microbiome from patients with depression and anxiety, put it into animals, and those animals will begin to exhibit behaviors that look a lot like depression and anxiety.
Yeah, so it's the relationship between us, the host, and these microbes.
The microbiome plays a tremendous role, not just in disease, where we're focusing right now, but really in maintaining health, which is what you're referring to,
Yes.
Partha. And I think a big take-home message for all the viewers today is that the greatest influence on the composition of your gut microbiome is actually controlled by you.
That's awesome.
So diet, other things that influence that environment within the lumen of the GI tract, so things like stress, things like medications,
Yes.
all of these different things can have very measurable and almost immediate effects on the microbiome.
And so now, again, you're not helpless. And for those you're watching and you go to your doctor every single time and say, I think I got a viral infection, let's take an antibiotic. I mean, you could give an atomic bomb to your microbiome every let's say a few months. You speak to that. People using medications and not just antibiotics, but medications for everything. And how critical is that to really maintain your gut health?
Yeah, well, it certainly can play a role. An obvious example would be antibiotics.
Yeah.
It really is like carpet bombing your gut microbiome,
Yes.
right? But realize that medications are going to continue to play a very important role. I want people to understand that we need to think about health more holistically and integratively, so that it's not only about the microbiome, for example. I want to make sure that we don't blame everything on the microbiome. The microbiome is one component of an overall recipe for achieving health.
Absolutely. And so the message, that important message that Dr. Che is talking about is that don't just say, I'm going to drop all your medications, stop my insulin, and I'm going to get the skinny bacteria and the bugs, and I'm good to go. That's not the message. It's that we're now introducing an entirely new concept that when you and I were in medical school, this was not even mentioned even for a day. And so now this is very, very important.
A lot of times I think it's very important for people to realize that their own personal choices influence the microbiome, but also influence every aspect of their health. So again, let's not blame everything on the microbiome, although the microbiome is certainly a critical piece of the puzzle that we've been, that we really weren't aware of until recently.
That's exactly right. And Dr. Che is right. Everybody wants a quick fix. Fix your microbiome, you're good. It's just part of the story, but an important part. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Partha Nandi. And if you enjoyed that video, you're gonna love the next one. It's full of incredible information to help you start your health hero journey.